Welcome back. 18 months ago, Siena's Matt Gage outdueled fellow left-hander Brandon Finnegan of 7th-ranked Texas Christian in a classic NCAA tournament showdown between underdog and favorite. Days later, Finnegan was taken in the first round of the MLB draft by Kansas City. Gage went in the 10th round to San Francisco. The big left-hander from Gloversville out of Broadalbin-Perth High School reached the Giants' Class AA affiliate in Richmond, Virginia this past summer. As Gage prepares for spring training 2016, he's just a couple of steps away from reaching the major leagues. And Matt Gage joins us in studio, and I'm sure these are interesting times for a minor league ball player when the major league teams are going through their winter meetings, and at this point you just don't know where you're going to end up in the spring and if you're still going to be with the Giants, or you're sitting by your phone kind of waiting for a phone call? Yeah, definitely.
With the winter meetings going on, you see all these trades going on, and a lot of prospects are going to different teams for 1 or 2 guys to the major league level. I know the Braves have 4 guys that were in the first round, in the last 2 years, so they're rebuilding, and anything can happen these next couple days, couple months. So it's just sit by the phone, wait for that phone call of either going to spring training or going to another team.
And I'm sure that there are some people that read every message board, look at every rumor, and there are some that probably just don't want to be bothered by it. Where do you fall?
It's more of just not really being bothered with it. Just kind of do my thing, get stronger, get ready for spring training, wherever that may be, and get ready for the season and just try to compete and for that team and hopefully try to get it to the big leagues as fast as I can.
And while executives are in these meetings and they're going over their prospects and moving players around, you're not privy to any of that, right? So you have no idea kind of what the thought process is?
Correct. It's all comes down to what they want. We just do our thing on the field and they don't really tell you much. They just you do your thing, and when you get a phone call of where you're going, that's where you're going.
At the end of every season, though, you get a chance to sit down with your manager and kind of discuss, how the year went. How did that meeting go for you?
It went great. Going up to AA was awesome. I got to sit down with the coaching staff up there, and they said I did what I had to do. I took advantage of my opportunity, and I was able to open up a lot of eyes in the Giants organization. So, I put myself in the right place.
AA in Richmond, and by the way, how about those uniforms?
They're bad. I don't like them. Bad luck with the Red Sox.
I think the Flying Squirrel is an awesome mascot, but I can see why the orange and red clash a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about your opportunity to play AA. This is your first full season of minor league ball, and not a lot of players, pitchers, position players, will ascend to AA that quickly. How did it work out for you?
It's a funny story because, I was in low A, just on the road in Greenville, and the AA had a doubleheader, and they're sending a guy from AAA to AA. Things happen, he gets hurt, all of a sudden something happens, and they say, well, what's the next best option? Well, it's my day to start. I'm on the East Coast. They send me up. So I get a phone call. You got a plane ride in 2 hours. Congratulations. Good luck.
Wow.
No one knows what's going to happen after that.
So serendipitous in the sense that if it wasn't your day in the rotation, it would have been somebody else going up?
Exactly. That's exactly right.
And so then you've got to try and process all of that very quickly, get on a plane, and then go out there and try and perform, not knowing when you might get another opportunity like that. How much pressure did you feel for that first AA start?
It was so much pressure on me, because I'm trying to go out, compete at the AA level, because it's one step under the, throwing at the big league level.
Yeah.
The other thing was I had a hit.
Yeah.
That was the big thing was I get there and they say, you have to hit today. So your first at bat since high school, it comes down to
since high school, was it?
So it's like now I'm seeing 90 plus and with movement, it doesn't really help.
Wow. So was it kind of like one of these, or
I actually didn't take the bat off my shoulder. I didn't want to look too bad, so I let 3 pitches go by. Yeah. 2 of them were cutters, really good pitches.
Okay.
I just went back to the dugout, grabbed my glove, went back up on the mound. After that, though, I did put every ball in play.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I went 0 for 5, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you able to pick up a hit this season?
Nope, just, hopefully next year.
Okay.
0 for 5 this year. Only 1 strikeout at the plate, but so things turned around, only 1 K. Put 2 balls in play that were hit hard.
It's not
I
bad.
got 2 quality at-bats,
Right.
So the hitting coach was good with that. So I got 2 check marks by my name.
And overall, if you evaluate how you performed, how many starts did you get at Richmond?
I think 6 or 7.
6 or 7 starts, and 5 or 6 of them were quality starts.
Yes. Only 1 really bad start was Binghamton. just didn't have it, left a couple balls up. You know, they had a lot of older guys, you know, big league guys. They're in the AA level. They're a good team, a good hitting team. They hit the ball that was up, elevated.
Yeah.
You know, so I gave up 7 runs in only an inning and 2/3 or something like that. But the thing was, the big thing about pitching and the big thing that the Giants try to tell you is, you know, it's how you react to it afterwards. And at that point, we had 8 starters at the AA level. So they were like, do you mind going to the bullpen just so that we can see another look, give your arm a little bit of a rest? And I said, sure. So I went out of the bullpen in Akron. I came out, was very good in 2 starts, or 2 relief appearances out of the bullpen. And then at the end of the year, a couple of the starters started feeling a little fatigued. So they were like, all right, you can have another start. So I was able to go out and finish my AA year for the start versus Harrisburg.
Wow. How much did your preparation at Siena get you ready for the opportunity to play professional baseball?
The big thing is going down south and facing those teams early. That really puts us in a mindset of where we have to be to compete with those teams, especially if we get to the tournament like we did in versus TCU.
Yep.
You know, going to TCU was a big test. You know, trying to be able to compete with them, 7th in the country, and then playing. You know, we ultimately take them to extras, and then we beat Dallas Baptist 28th. You know, so those are the things that like get you ready for the next level.
And we're looking at you throwing with Siena. And who's that catching for you right there?
That'd be my lovely fiance, Paige.
Paige Lloyd, who was a softball player at Siena.
Yes.
And when did you get engaged?
We got engaged, what was it? Her spring training trip last year.
Okay. And a picture of it right here. So this was a moment after you popped the question, is that right?
Yes. At that moment, I still have yet to get an answer.
Oh.
At that moment, I still have yet to get an answer.
Walk me through the story, because we can see that based on her socks, so she had just finished a game, right?
Yes. They just finished their second game of a doubleheader. It was raining. It was cold. You know, we're in Jacksonville, Florida, so it's not warm. It's you know, it's a little windy. And you know, they blow a couple leads. You know, everyone's not really in the greatest of moods. And of course, Paige has to be the last one out of the dugout.
Right.
And everyone else is already going to the vans, and I'm trying to hurry her up, and not trying to make it obvious. So I give my mom the sign, have her turn around, read the sign, and while she does that, I get down on one knee and pull out the ring, and I say, will you marry me? And she doesn't give me an answer. Like I said, this is the moment. And then finally I go, so does this mean yes? And she said yes.
So this is your mom right here, right?
Yes.
The yes or no sign?
Yes.
And you got the affirmative from Paige.
Yep.
That's great. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And the wedding is going to be next year?
Next November 26th.
How difficult is it when you're on the road and you don't have Paige there with you?
It's easier now with technology. You know, FaceTime helps a lot. It's still a little bit tough. Especially if I'm on the West Coast, because I only get to see her once, maybe twice the entire summer. You know, being in Augusta and being in Richmond is nice because she's from Delaware, and Richmond and all the teams we play are right in that area. So it's nice now. But if once I go to the West Coast, you know, things can change. But like I said, it's a lot easier now with technology. You know, me and her have that relationship where all we need to do is FaceTime, talk to each other every night, and we're good.
Paige was quite the slugger for the Siena team. So now that you know have had these opportunities where you need to hit, you gone to her for any tips?
Yeah, I've tried. She still makes fun of me for my first at bat where I didn't take it off my shoulder. But now she's the hitting coach for Siena right now. So maybe this winter when I start taking some hacks again, I'll see what she has to say.
Perfect. And then finally, have you kind of come up with a strategy or a plan or a set of goals where I want to be a AAA by this age and Major League by this age? Or do you feel like that kind of, you know, setting yourself up for failure because you don't know what might happen, just, you know, best you can do in the moment?
Right. It's more, for me, it's more of best I can do in the moment. To be honest, you know, coming out of spring training, you never know if you're going to be in Group 5, Group 4. You know, especially being your first year, you don't know if you're going to be extended, don't know if you're actually going to break and leave with a low A team. So me being able to leave with a low A team was great, and also being able to start opening day, being opening day starter for the Augusta Green Jackets was great because that just shows me that the Giants have a lot of trust in me, and they wanted to see what I can do being the opening day starter. So for me, it's, you know, wherever someone puts me, I'm going to compete where I can, what I can do, and ultimately, if I continue to do well, I'll move up, and if the cards fall my way like they did this year, anything can happen.
Well, wherever you end up, we'll follow your career, and best of luck this upcoming season.
Thank you. Appreciate it.